Hello, everyone. I just wanted to gather with you today. I've learned something about myself, and I've learned that going out and sharing from mistakes makes it a lot easier to step out of my comfort zone because I know that if I fail, if I fall down, if I mess up, I can always use it to lift somebody else up. So I'm going to share a story today of a lesson that I learned from my mentor about 3 or 4 years ago. And it has given me freedom in so many ways. And so today I just want to talk to you about the freedom of transparency. So I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this, but I have been one that maybe you spill something on your jeans or you have something on your shirt and you're at a party and you're worried about it. Do they see it? Do they notice it? Maybe they think I wet my pants, and you try to hide it. And the whole night you're worried about the stain on your jeans. Well, some people have bigger stains in their life. Maybe it's stains in their heart. Maybe it's stains in their emotions. And they try to live and cover them up and try to hide them, and it keeps them captive. It keeps them in bondage. And so I'm just going to share a little story about a time when I didn't have complete transparency. And when I learned this lesson from my mentor, it set me free. So it was about, like I said, 3 or 4 years ago. And for many years, I'll probably share this story in a few weeks ahead, but I loved my product in my company, but I was against the business side. And for so long, I was against the business side. And then I had a total heart change, a total paradigm shift, knowing that I needed to go out and change the world in more ways than what I was changing the world. So anyway, there came a time where I was put in a position where I needed to share the business side with somebody else. And I felt a conviction, like I needed to change the world. I needed a conviction. I would be so rude to keep this to myself and not share it. So a bunch of us decided that we were going to do a business meeting in Des Moines. This was our first business style meeting, introductory meeting. And I was scared to death. I'm telling you, my heart was pounding, just like it's pounding right now. My heart was pounding. I was sick to my stomach. I wanted to throw up. But I knew I had to get this message out. So I picked up the phone and I called a friend. Who knows? That friend may end up listening to this. I'm not going to say any names, but I called a friend who's been kind of like a sister to me most of my life. And I called and I shared this workshop, invited them to this workshop. And what happened was, and I bet you guys can relate, when I was nervous, I shared my heart, and I was nervous, and I was shaking, and my voice was shaking, and I tried to hide that I was nervous. And so I started talking faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And then I got off the phone, felt like I was going to throw up, and I called my mentor. And I called her and I said, Sonia Swan, that's her name. I said, Sonia, I need some advice because I am making myself sick over here. I am shaking. I am nervous. I said, we have this workshop coming up, and I know it would be rude of me not to share it. I know that I have these friends that it will turn their life around, that if I don't at least give them the opportunity, I would be very rude. And so I said, but here's the problem. I'm calling and I'm making phone calls and my voice is shaking so hard and I'm trying to hide it and I'm talking faster and faster and faster. And how do I just calm down so that my words are clear? And Sonia gave me the best advice that I think I've gotten from anyone in my life. She said, Bobby, don't try to hide your weaknesses. Use your weakness as your strength. And I sat there and honestly, I was like, huh? What? I don't get it. She said, Bobby, you just told me that the reason you're calling them is because you feel it'll change their life. Is that correct? And I said, well, yeah. And she said, and you just told me that you're really nervous, but you love them so much you're going to do it anyway. Is that correct? And I said, well, yeah. And she said, well, then instead of talking faster and trying to hide your voice when you're shaking, when you call, you need to say, I know my voice is shaking. And I'm really, really nervous, but I loved you enough that I was going to conquer that fear and call you because I knew that this was something that could change your life if you chose to let it. And that lesson has stuck with me in so many other areas of my life, is to use your weakness as your strength and to just be completely and 100% transparent, and it will set you free. Another example of this is I was speaking in Canada, and right before I got up on stage, many of you know I love my Ningxia Red. It's a drink, it's bright red, and I was drinking it, and it kind of popped out of the package and got all over my pants. And I was literally about ready to get up on stage at my first, I guess you could say, international speaking engagement. And I started to panic, like, oh my gosh, everyone's going to be looking at this big red stain on my pants, and what are they going to be thinking? And I got up on stage, and I just shared, hey guys, got this big red stain on my pants. You know how we love Ningxia Red? Well, I don't want to worry about it, so I'm just putting it out there right now. And I put it out there, and I was set free. But even before that, public speaking, guys, I know that that's one of the biggest fears that most people have. But I also know that God has called every single one of us to purpose. He's given us gifts. He's given us talents. He's given us passions, passions that will change the world, passions that will change lives. Whether that's writing a book, whether that's getting on stage. Love people enough to step out and to conquer your fear anyway. I know this whole freedom of transparency is what gave me the strength to do that. The first time I was asked to speak at an event, like a big event of 600 people, I used this lesson that I learned from Sonia. Because in college, if I had to speak to 3 people, I was nervous for weeks, and I literally was almost throwing up. And give me some likes or some hearts if you can relate to that, because that's where I was. I was just scared to death to speak. And when I learned this freedom of transparency and the importance of loving people more than your comfort zone, it set me free. And so that first speaking engagement where I had 600 people and I was getting out there, before I went out on stage, I remembered that if I fell flat on my face, if I hit my head, if I made a total fool of myself, all I would have to say is, guys, I loved you enough to get out here and make a fool of myself so that I could change your life, or so that I could pour into you and make an impact on your life. So that's my challenge to you, is to be transparent, whether it's a small little stain on your jeans like I talked about, or whether it's just something that you feel like is a huge stain on your heart or in your mind and your emotions. Maybe it's a previous sin that hasn't been repented of, or maybe it's a fear that you just need somebody to come alongside of you and walk with you. Be transparent, because it will set you free. The Bible says truth will set you free. And I think transparency is just one of those areas of truth. So I want to challenge you guys to go out and let your light shine in this world. Use your weaknesses as your strength. Conquer your fear, find freedom, and go out and change the world. So I thank you all for being on this call or being on this Facebook Live. And if you think it will benefit somebody else, go out and share it. And thank you so much. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great day. Cheryl. Awesome, Cheryl. Thanks for sharing. Have a great day, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.